I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, making this short rib ragu pasta is a labor of love, but it's worth every bite. Fall is the season for comfort food and cozy meals, and with recipes like this short rib pasta, I promise you won't be disappointed. Let's get into it. I made a blend of salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and I made sure to heavily season my short ribs. And I'm using a mix of bone-in and boneless, but you can also use chuck roast for this recipe if you want to go with a more affordable cut of meat. Okay, so now I'm prepping my veggies. I diced up some carrots, celery, onion, and I'm also crushing a few cloves of garlic and setting those aside while I sear my meat. I'm only using a little avocado oil to sear the meat on medium-high heat because a lot of that fat from the short ribs is going to render off. And once I add it to the pot, I am pressing them down just a little because I want to make sure that I get a nice even crust on them. I flip them to make sure I get a good sear on all sides before removing them from the pot. And if you have to do this step in batches, that's fine because you don't want to overcrowd the pot. Like I said before, a lot of that fat is going to render off, but that's good because that means a lot of flavor to saute the veggies in. I just recommend removing some of it and leaving behind about 1 to 2 tablespoons because you don't want the braising liquid too oily. Sweat down the veggies a little before adding in the tomato paste and continuing to saute everything together. You'll know the tomato paste is cooked out once you see the oils kind of start to separate like this. That's when I deglaze with red wine and beef stock and I bring that to a low boil. I added the meat back to the pot with our garlic and our fresh herbs, which is just thyme, rosemary, and sage, and then I cover the pot and allow it to braise in the oven at 375 degrees for 3 hours or until the meat is tender. Because the meat does take a while to cook, you can follow the previous steps and then just transfer everything to a crock pot to finish cooking. You want it falling off the bone and tender enough to shred with a fork once they're done. Now to make the sauce for my pasta, I'm straining off all the drippings from the veggies that we cooked the short ribs in until I have something that looks like a dark rich broth. And then I combined it with crushed tomatoes and then seasoned it with a pinch of salt, oregano, black pepper, freshly grated garlic, and a little sugar to balance out the acidity from the tomatoes. I added the shredded meat to the sauce and then just let it simmer covered on medium-low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes just so everything can really come together. I made sure that all my noodles were coated really well in that sauce and I topped it with some fresh Parmesan and parsley. Who doesn't love a good pasta dish? And this one is perfect for a slow, cozy fall day. Y'all don't forget to save this one for later.